Hello and welcome to my very messy studio. I have a really new underpainting going on, and there's a lot going on in here right now, and so everything's in this state of disarray. Welcome to my disarray. It's a happy disarray because there's a lot going on and I have a lot of moving pieces right now and places I need to be and things that are on my schedule and people looking at paintings and paintings going up on walls and workshops being planned, and it's very, very exciting. Just really grateful that there seems to be a lot of energy in the work right now. So I have been answering questions, and I want to once again say thank you to those of you who leave comments on these videos and send me your questions or suggestions for topics. I really want to talk about things that you want to hear me talk about. And so I love to hear from you. I love to get these suggestions. And one of the questions that came through that I'm going to be talking about today is, what do I do about seasonal affective disorder? What do I do about the energy drain, the depression that can sometimes come along with gray skies and cold weather, and what do I do about the winter blues? So I think most of us have been experiencing weird or unexpected or weather this season that is unlike weather we normally experience because of climate change, and I don't know what else going on that's causing that to happen. We're at the end of the winter season, coming into the end of the winter season here in Kentucky, and normally in the winter we will have 2 to 3 really big snows, like a big snow that several inches that covers everything and has that beautiful winter hush and quiet and all of the glistening in the trees that's so beautiful in the winter. This year we've had none of that. We've had one teeny tiny little snow. That's it. Not even enough to close down school. We also usually have 4 or 5 days of really bitter cold where they do close school because you can't have kids standing at bus stops. It's so cold, and we haven't had that either. What we have had is consistently gray skies and a lot of rain. And it does wear on you. It wears on me. So I definitely feel like I'm impacted by the weather and impacted by the seasons. I have often joked that I'm really only happy in the fall and the spring because that's when it's 72 degrees and blue skies, which is what I like. California weather, that's what I like. That's how I feel good. It's ironic because fall and spring is also when I have the worst seasonal allergies. But one thing that I have been really thinking about lately and focused on lately is trying to be in the moment and really love and accept each of the seasons for what they offer, each day for what it offers, to not be reaching out longing for something else, but embracing what is, embracing the climate, the weather, the colors of the day. But it does wear on me, the rain and the gray, so much rain and so much gray, and it does take a toll on my energy. And there are some things that I do to work with that or to combat that. I love my bedroom. I love my bed and that wonderful cozy time of the day. Well, actually, it begins in the evenings in the living room when it's finally time to be done with everything and to put on pajamas and sit on the couch and probably watch TV. And I like to create environments, and I like for my home to feel like a sanctuary environment. So that particular room, my living room, I have little fairy lights behind the couch. The couch is against a window. There are plants behind it, and then I have fairy lights woven through the plants. And right now those lights are pink. They've been pink for February, and they are getting ready to be changed out into blue. And I have candles. I have some flameless candles and fairy lights that are on a timer, and so they come on every night just as the sun is going down. And that's really important to me. I have salt lamps. I have a selenite lamp in that room. I have a salt lamp in my dining room. I have salt lamps throughout my house. I like atmosphere. And so one way that I combat the feelings of what's going on outside of the gray and cold, rainy weather is to have really warm ambient light inside, and to have a very cozy bedroom with lots of quilts and blankets that feel good and pajamas that feel good, and just create that cozy environment for myself. And this is also really tied to my last video about color. I think color is incredibly important. The colors in your home, the colors that you wear, the colors that with which you are surrounding yourself. And so I do a lot of warm color in the winter, reds and hot pinks, and just vibrant color that feels warm to me. You know, I love a hot salt bath, and I do just take my hot baths in the winter, and I create sanctuary in the bathroom. I light candles, I burn incense, I burn a little bit of sage to clear the room. I use a mixture of salts and essential oils and flower essence in my bath water. I find something really soothing and beautiful and healing to listen to, and I float in the hot water, and I probably bathe with water that's too hot, but that's how I like it, and just, you know, stoke that inner furnace. And it's clearing, and it clears my energy, and it sometimes builds my energy, but most importantly, it feels good. It's really pleasurable to do that. I like to create celebrations and kind of make a big deal out of little things in the winter, and birthdays and holidays, and, you know, whatever's going on the calendar. Really play that up and have fun. I look for opportunities to make things exciting and fun and energetic. You know, I'm also thinking about the Shirley MacLaine book, Out on a Limb, which is also a movie, and there's a story that she tells in that book about being somewhere. I don't remember if it's the Himalayas or some place, and she's very, very cold, and she has to sleep all night in an environment that's very, very cold. And so she imagines heat. She imagines this fire kind of burning in her. She imagines this sunlight surrounding her, and she's able to raise her body temperature and sort of generate this sunshine, this heat for herself, even though in reality she's in this very cold setting. And it's much more interesting the way that she writes about it rather than my retelling of it. But I think we kind of have to do those types of things in the winter when the environment is less than pleasing. I pay attention to the media that I'm taking in, the movies I'm watching, what I'm putting on television, the music I'm listening to, everything that I'm taking in. You know, everything that you take in is feeding you the same way that food feeds you. You're taking all of this sensory information into your mind and into your spirit, and how does it feel? Where is it vibrating? What is the energy of that thing? And what are you feeding? What energies in yourself are you feeding? My yoga studio, when it moved to a new space, now has a room that is warm. So it's not like hot yoga. I think I looked at the thermostat the last time I was at a class, and it was 82 degrees in the room. And so many of the classes have moved into that warm room, and that I find that to be just amazingly healing in the winter, to walk out of the cold and gray and into this very warm room with navy blue walls, and the diffuser that has different cycling through different purples and blue light, and salt lamps, and do a slow flow yoga class, or a Kundalini rising class, or whatever class happens to be going on in the warm room, and feel that warmth. And I love going in early and just lying on my mat and being in the warmth. And you could recreate that or create that kind of sensation by going to the Y and going to a sauna, or finding some place that has a hot tub and just sitting in the warmth and really taking in warmth, taking in light, if that's where you feel deprived. And I like herbal teas in the winter that feel warming, like ginger tea. I have a lemon tea that I really like because it just feels sunshiny to drink it. I've also been drinking 4-sigmatic mushroom adaptogen coffee in the afternoon, and I like the way that feels. And so I guess my answer to this question is that I pay a lot of attention to how things feel, and I am trying to cultivate the feeling that I'm not getting from the environment, or that I'm not getting outside. I'm trying to balance out that feeling. I bought some really cozy boots this winter that are lined, and they're really soft, and I wear them all the time. And they may not be the most beautiful boots you've ever seen, they may not be the most fashionable, but I wear them all the time because it feels good to wear them. It feels cozy and warm to wear them. Likewise, a couple of pairs of sweatpants that I have that honestly I pass by the mirror and I think that is not sexy. That does not look good, but it feels really good to wear these cozy sweatpants in the winter. So we typically have at least one big snowstorm or ice storm in March. I don't know if we're going to have it this year. I know that we're just going to continue to have rain, rain, rain. So I don't know what's going on where you are, but I hope that the sun is coming out from time to time. Please let me know, what do you do? What do you do in the bleak and gloomy weather? And do let me know if you have any questions, anything you'd like for me to talk about here in the studio. I love to hear from you. Thank you. I'll talk to you next week.